press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, how are you? I hope that all are doing good. So today I am here with you with the new lesson. The name of the lesson is Weathering the Storm in Ersama. Ersama is a place which is situated in Orissa. So Orissa is a state, is it? So that places which is nearer to the coastal area, that places were affected, which was hit with the massive cyclone. Okay, so not only in Ersama, so near the surrounding of the places and near the coastal areas. Okay, so because it was hit by the massive cyclones. So this lesson is about a person called a young person, that is a Prashant. Okay, so this is the story of a person called Prashant, and not only Prashant and even other people who are suffered. Okay, so the people who are suffered like family of Prashant and his friend's family, so they were also suffered because of the cyclone. Okay, and you know that when there will be the natural calamities, so the people, they don't have the shelters, the food, okay, and they can't fulfill the basic facilities, and everywhere there was a destruction. Okay, so there it is this is the story of a real based incident, that is it took place in the year 1999. It is in the month of October. Okay, so the Orissa was hit with the cyclone. Okay, so let's see, before I am going to move to the lesson, so let's look into the writer's introduction. Okay, so here the writer is Harsh Mender. So he was born on April 17th, 1955 in Shillong. Okay, and he is an author, columnist, researcher and a teacher. Columnist means the writer who used to write for columns for newspapers. Okay, so he is a columnist, and his famous works are Partition of the Heart, Fatal Accidents of Birth, then Looking Away. So these are the works of Harsh Mender. Okay, so this is about the writer. So let's begin the lesson. Okay, the cyclone that hit Orissa in October 1999 killed thousands of people and devastated hundreds of villages. For 2 dreadful nights, Prashant, a young man, was marooned on the roof of a house. On the 3rd day, he decided to go to his village. Did he find his family? Okay, so this is the story of a young person called Prashant. Okay, so he was staying in a Ersama, and his family is situated staying in a village. So he could go to that place where he could find the way to, so where there are so much of water. Okay, so everywhere there was a water. So after that he can reach to his place and he can save his family. So let's see in this lesson. On 27 October 1999, 7 years after his mother's death, Prashant had gone to the block headquarters of Ersama, a small town in coastal Orissa, some 18 kilometers from his village, to spend the day with a friend. In the evening, a dark and menacing storm quickly gathered. Winds beat against the houses with a speed and fury that Prashant had never witnessed before. Heavy and incensed rain filled the darkness, and ancient trees were uprooted and crashed to the earth. Okay, so this incident took place in the year 1999 on 27th of October. Okay, and this incident took place in the life of Prashant, so where her mother was passed away. Okay, after the 7 years of his mother was passed, so then this incident took. Prashant had gone to block headquarters, means he went for some of the work. Okay, he is doing work in Ersama, so which is a small town which is located near the coastal areas of Orissa, and his village is village is like 18 kilometers away from that town. Okay, so he shifted his job in a block quarters. Okay, so it is his job. So he is working in Ersama. It is a small town which is situated in the coastal areas, and the distance between the village, his village, and the Ersama, it is 18 kilometers. Okay, and here the writer says here, it was to spend a day with a friend. So he is staying with his friend. Okay, so where in Ersama. Then in the evening, so that day, so where the cyclone was hit to this place, so on that particular day at the evening, so what happened, it was totally dark, and menacing storm was quickly gathered. Okay, so there was menacing means a dangerous and harmful wind. It was quickly gathered. There was a wind, there was a cyclone, and everywhere there will be the darkness. Then winds beat against the houses with a speed and fury that Prashant had never witnessed before. So throughout his life, he has never seen this kind of a wind which is blowing towards the friend house. Okay, it is the speed of a wind is like a fury. Fury means it is like showing anger. Okay, the wind is showing anger to the people. So like it is. Heavy and incessant rain filled the darkness. Ancient trees were uprooted and crashed. Okay, so like everywhere there was a darkness. Okay, and here they can't go. And even the incessant rain means the rain was continuously, it's raining, filled the darkness. Because of the rain, continuous rain, it was filled totally the darkness, and the trees were also broken. Okay, so it is called as ancient trees. Ancient tree means old trees were also broken from the root. Screams rent the air as people and the houses were swiftly washed away. So everywhere the people are screaming, okay, to save their lives. So totally darkness, it was raining, then the wind is also blowing very fast. It was like a furious, and it was totally, so the Prashant has never seen this kind of a cyclone in his life. Okay, so like it is, and the people are washed away because the flood, the water level was increased on the land. So the people are screaming and they wanted to save their life. Okay, so the angry water swelled. Okay, the angry waters swelled into his friend's house, neck deep. The building was of a brick and mortar and was strong enough to survive the devastation of the wind's velocity of 350 km per hour. But the cold terror of the family grieved with the crashing of the trees that had got uprooted and fallen on their house, sometime in the middle of the night, damaging its roof and walls. Okay, so the angry waters, so water level is also increasing. Okay, so here the writer is to say so during the cyclone, the water is also in anger mood. Okay, and it was swirling means twisting. The water is also twisting. Then into his friend's house, so neck deep means the water level was risen up to the neck. So all the people they were floating on the water. Okay, so up to the neck the water level was risen. Then the building was of a brick and mortar. Mortar means a mixture of lime, cement and sand, and the water used to construct. Mortar means a mixture of lime, cement, sand and water used to construct for a building, that is called mortar. Okay, so his friend's family, which is constructed with the materials, good materials, with the bricks, cement, mixture of sand, okay, then water, everything it is has built up. Okay, so then the walls were very strong. Because of this material, the walls are strong. So whose house, that is friend's house, is strong because of the material used while building it, while constructing it. And it was strong to survive the devastation of wind velocity of 350 km per hour. Okay, the wind is blowing, so its speed is 350 km per hour. Okay, so that so for that much of speed, so the walls need a stronger one. But what about the other houses which is weak? Okay, they are not used good materials during the time of constructions. Okay, so what happened to those people house? houses. Then, but the cold terror of the family grew with the crashing of the trees, and that had got uprooted. So everybody was up, means cold terror means they are extremely in fear. They are in a frightened. The people, the friend's family, Prashant's friend family, they were in a extremely frightened. They are frightening about the water level was rising. Okay, so where they have to go? Then crashing of trees that had got uprooted and fallen on their house. So the trees which was falling, which was broken from the root, so that one was fallen on the roof of their houses. Whose house? That is friend's family house. And sometime in the middle of the night damaging its roof and walls. Okay, so that trees which was fallen on the roof of house, so that damaged the roofs and also the walls of the houses. The great destruction wrought by the cyclone and the surge of the ocean continued for the next 36 hours, although wind speeds had reduced somewhat by the next morning. Okay, so destruction wrought means produced as a result of something. Okay, so it is producing. So what is the result? It is destruction, the severe damage of the properties of the people properties. And ocean continued for the next surge means gush. Okay, so means the water level of ocean, it was coming to the land, that is called, and it was continued for the next 36 hours. So the water level was rising for the next 36 hours, and the wind is also blowing in speed. Although wind speeds had reduced somewhat by the next morning, but wind speed is also reduced in the next morning. To escape the water rising in the house, Prashant and his friend's family had taken refuge on the roof. So the water level was rising. Okay, so the water level was rising because the ocean water is coming to the land. So because to save their life, so Prashant and his friend's family, they were all got onto the roof. Okay, the roof where they could take the shelter. Okay, so they were take the refugee means shelter. So they wanted to save their life now. So where they have settled now? On the roof of their houses they were settled. Prashant and his friend's family had taken refuge on the roof. Prashant will never forget the shock he experienced at his first glimpse of the devastation wrought by the super cyclone in the grey light of the early morning. Okay, so here Prashant is feeling very afraid because he has never seen this kind of incidents in his life. Okay, he felt so much of frightened. He was never forget this kind of experience in his life. Okay, so that was a massive destruction. The first glimpse means it was looking at briefly experiences. Okay, he just had gone through the briefly experience which never forget in his life. Super cyclone in the grey light of the early morning. Okay, so next day in the early morning, so everywhere it looks like a grey in color. Okay, so he never forget that kind of the scene which he has saw that on that situation. A raging deadly brown sheet of water covered everything as far as the eye could see. Only fractured cement houses still stood in a few places. A raging super cyclone means the cyclone which every hour it was rising its speed. So that cyclone was hit. It gives a massive destruction. Okay, and it was covered. So water was covered everywhere. So wherever eyes could see it. So up to that, the water he could see the water, and which was in a brown in color. So why? Because the mixture of the sand, the mud which is contained on the earth, it was mixed with water. So the water looks like a brown in color. Okay, his eyes, wherever he could see that everywhere it was filled with water. There is no land to survive. Okay, then brown sheet of water covered everything. So it looks like a brown sheet. Okay, so if you could see that, then only fractured cement houses still stood in a few places. Fractured cement, the houses which is made up of the cement, so only those houses are in a good condition, and other houses were fallen. It was broken and it was damaged, it was destructed. okay, in because of the water and wind and its wind speed. Bloated animal carcasses and human corpses floated in every direction. Okay, all round, even huge old trees had fallen. So everywhere he could see the animals' dead bodies. Carcasses means animal dead bodies, and also human corpses. Human corpses means it is also the dead bodies of humans. So everywhere bloated, the dead bodies they were swollen. Okay, so that dead bodies, it was floating on the water, so he could see it, and it is moving in every direction. From every direction, all the dead bodies of animals and humans, it was floating on water. Then all around, even old trees had fallen. So which was the old trees, that is also fallen. Okay, then 2 coconut trees had fallen on the roof of their house. This was a blessing in disguise, because the tender coconut from the trees kept the trapped family from starving in the several days that followed. Okay, so that coconut tree, it was fallen on the roof of the Prashant's friends family, so their houses. So he could see that, he could feel that he is in a blessing, they are in a blessing. Okay, so everywhere there will be the destruction, there is no hope for survive, but in that difficult situation where there is a tough time, there is nothing to eat. So when the tree was fallen, that is coconut tree was fallen, at least they can get the coconut, so the tender coconut for their survival. Okay, because of that tender coconut they can drink, and they could save their life. Okay, because of the hunger they could save it. So here he says the thankful in that difficult situation, at least they can get the family, they can get the food in this difficult situation. For the next 2 days, so let's move to the next paragraph. For the next 2 days, Prashant sat huddled with his friends, family in the open on the rooftop. They froze in the cold, and incensed rain, the rainwater washed away Prashant's tear. Okay, so here huddled means together in a group. So for the next 2 days, again the Prashant, when the wind was blown, it was taken 36 hours. Okay, already the cyclone was hit. For the next 2 days, Prashant and his friends family, they all are sat on the roof. Okay, so they were made themselves in a group. Okay, they are sitting on the roof and together in a group, and the family which was take a shelter on the roof, which is open area. Okay, open air. Then they froze in the cold, so they feel because they are everywhere, there was a water and they are sitting on the roof, so in that they feel so much of coldness and instant rain, and even that the rain, it was continuously raining. Okay, in that situation there was a raining, and because of the water, and they are sitting on the roof, so they feel a lot of what called the coldness. They felt it, and the rainwater washed away Prashant's tears because of his feeling, because of his emotions. So he cried it, because he has never seen this kind of a destruction. So he was crying. So that rains were washed the Prashant tears also. Okay. Then the only thought that flashed through his mind was whether his family had survived the fury of the super cyclone. Was he to be bereaved once again? So here the writer says that Prashant is far away from his family. So is about 18 kilometers distance where his family is situated in a village. So he is thinking that he just thought that, and he was crying like, so his family survived or not. So he is thinking about his family. Okay, and then he was thinking that he only could survive in his family. Bereaved means to take away someone. So this cyclone, the massive cyclone which took his family away from him. Now he is living alone in this world. He is thinking like that. Okay, so this is about next paragraph. Let's move to the further paragraph. 2 days later, which seemed to Prashant like 2 years, the rain ceased and the rainwater slowly began to recede. Prashant was determined to seek out his family without further delay. Okay, so after the after 2 days, Prashant was like 2 years. So where he has sat on the roof, he takes only for 2 days, but he feels like it seems like it was like 2 years for him. Okay, and only thought it was come to in his mind that he could search his family. Okay, he could search his family, is they are surviving or not. Okay, so that thought has come in his mind. And now the water level has receded. Recede means reducing. So after 2 days the water level was also reducing, and now everywhere so the cyclone was stopped. So everything is coming to be normal, but not the water level. Okay, the water level is increasing, but decreasing, but not in that speed. Okay, so then here the next thought came in his mind that he needs to search his family. Okay, then determined to seek out his family without further delay. But the situation was still dangerous, and his friend's family pleaded with Prashant to stay back a little while longer. But Prashant knew he had to go. Okay, so he is staying with the Prashant family, so they are requesting him to stay with them. Okay, because they need a more courageous people. So this Prashant is one of a courageous man. So that's why he wanted to go to his family to search. So he wanted to go to his village to search his family, but his friend's family, they are liking that to stay that Prashant in this family. Okay, but Prashant knew he had to go. So Prashant understood it that he had to go and search his family. He equipped himself with a long sturdy stick and then started on his 18-kilometer expedition back to his village through the swollen flood waters. Okay, so now he decided to go and search his family. So he just made himself to arrange something like a stool, the equipped, the instrument which is he has to carry. Okay, because everywhere there was a water. So how can he go to the family to his village? Okay, that is 18 kilometers away from this town. So then he find one stick which is sturdy. Okay, the sturdy which is a strong stick. Okay, which is he could go to the village where he has to search his family. And swollen flowed waters, it was a journey he would never forget. Okay, so he began his journey. How he was? So with the stick holding in his hand. Why he is holding the stick in his hand? Because everywhere there was a water, and he doesn't know that. So where the water is in a deep, okay, which is in a depth. So for that sake, for his protection, for his safe, so he took a stick in his hand, and then he was swimming, and he is going to his family to search his family to the village. Okay, and he would never forget. So how he went to his family, he was never forget throughout his life. He constantly had to use the stick to locate the road to determine where the water was most shallow. Okay, so why he was holding stick? Because he has to know it. So he has to know the knowledge where the water has collected deeply. Okay, so for that sake he hold the stick, and then he started his journey. So expedition means journey. Okay, then shallow means having little depth. So because everywhere there was a water, then how could he know that how much the water has in a depth? So that's why he has holding a stick, and he just moving towards his village. Then at places it was a waist deep, and progress was slow at several points. So some places he just saw that the water level was decreasing. Okay, up to the west level, the water it's there, and then while he was going swimming, and the progress is slow means he is going very slowly, because he have to more careful. He has to more careful while he is going like this. Okay, and several points he lost the road and had to swim. After some times, he has to leave to find two friends of his uncle who were also returning to their village. They decided to move ahead together. Okay, so when he was begin his journey, so he is going very slowly. okay, and the water level was decreased up to the west, okay. Now he could go easily, but he can't, somewhere he can't, okay. And then after, when he was going ahead, so he could find another two people. That two people, they are also going for their village, which here Prashant is also belonged, okay. And that two people also, yeah, they are the friends of his uncle, okay. So he knows them. So those people also gathered with this Prashant and they made the group, and now again these people also going with Prashant to go for his village, okay. Then as they waded through the waters, the scenes they witnessed grew more and more macabre. So waded means swam. Swim is the present tense. So swam is the past tense of swim. So while they were swimming, so everywhere they could see the scenes like macabre. Macabre means it's horrible. Right down take down the meaning of macabre. That is horrible. Everywhere they could see the horrible scenes, okay. So what is that? They had to push away many human bodies, men, women, children and carcasses of dogs, goats, cattle that the current swept against them as they moved ahead. So while they were swimming and going to their family, so to their village, so what they could see? The scene like it was a horrible, okay. They could see that the animals' carcasses and the human bodies, like the children human bodies, then the women bodies. So everywhere they will be it is, and they were pushing it, okay. So they were giving a way. So they are making a way to push them away, okay. And they could see the animal carcasses, so which is also floating on the water. So they are going like it, and then in every village that they passed, they could barely see a house standing. Prashant now wept out loud and long. He was sure that his family could not have survived this catastrophe, okay. So when they were going to his village, so he could see the other villages, which are other small villages. So there only few houses were standing, where the few houses were in a good in condition, okay. So now when he looked into that houses, so now Prashant was weeping. He was crying aloud and longer, okay. Why? Because he just imagining that he just thought that he could not save his family, okay. The family was not survived. Because of that thought, he was crying, okay. Then so he could not have survived because of this catastrophe. Catastrophe means disaster. Because of this disaster, his family couldn't survive. So because of that thought, he was crying. Eventually, Prashant reached his village, Kalikuda. His heart went cold. Where their home once stood, there were only remnants of its roof. Some of their belongings were caught, mangled and twisted in branches of trees, just visible above the dark waters. Young Prashant decided to go to the Red Cross shelter to look for his family. Okay, so eventually, anyhow, he has reached his village. The name of the village is Kalikoda. So, which is he feel so much of cold. He was tensed because when he looked into his village, only one house is in good condition. Okay, so everywhere there will be no houses and no people were survived. Okay, and then he thought that some of their belongings, so he could see his belongings, so which is related to his family and belongings of Prashant. So it was floating and it was stuck with the branches of the trees. So he could find it that. And later he decided to go and search his family in the Red Cross society. Okay, the Red Cross society, so which they give the shelter for this family. So now he decided to go to the Red Cross society, to Red Cross shelter, and to search his family there. Okay, because this Red Cross society, it is an organization which is working during the time of natural calamities, during the time of wars, okay, and they give shelters to the people who are lost to their family, who lost their houses, their everything. So they give shelters, they give food, okay. So every basic facilities they will provide it, and they treat the people, okay. So now he decided to go to that shelter, refugee camps, where the Red Cross were organized. So at least he could find his family there. So that's why he decided to go there. So remnants means terrified, okay. Mangled means to change, okay. So this is called remnants means, okay. Then remnants means a small remaining quantities. Remnants means a small remaining quantities, that is cold. Went cold means it is a terrified. He wasn't terrified because he has not seen his family there. Only one house was in a good condition. Then among the first people he saw in the crowd was his maternal grandmother, weak with hunger. She rushed to him, her hands outraged, her eyes brimming. It was miracle they had long given him up for dead. Okay. So in this paragraph, he has gone to the Red Cross shelter, so where they give a shelter to the people where they have lost their houses, okay. So there some of the grandmother, that is maternal grandmother, means mother's grandmother, she could identify Prashant, and all the people, they were gathered near the Prashant because they thought that the Prashant family, they thought that the Prashant was already, he was dead. Okay, so now they were happy to see this Prashant was back to his family. Okay, so now it was a miracle. So eyes were brimming, so they were crying with happiness, and it was a miracle to his family that Prashant was survived, and they had long given him for a dead. So they have believed that the Prashant was dead. Then quickly word spread, and his extended family gathered around him and hugged him tight in relief. Prashant anxiously scanned the motley, tattered group. His brother and sister, his uncles and aunts, they all seemed to be there. Okay. So here motley means mixture, and tattered means injured. So when he looked into the group where the brothers, sisters, uncle, aunt, the grandmothers, everybody, they will be covered with Prashant, and he looked into the faces. So faces of what? That is mixed with the injured. All people were injured. Okay, so wherever he could see it, and everyone, they are waiting to give a greet to the Prashant that he had survived. Okay, and then even that his brother and his sister, uncles and aunts, they also seemed to be there. So everybody was survived. No one was dead. Then let's begin with the next paragraph. But the next morning, as he took in the desperate situation in the shelter, he decided to grip over himself. He sensed deathly a grief settling upon the 2,500 strong crowd in the shelter. 86 lives were lost in the village. All the 96 houses had been washed away. It was their fourth day at the shelter. So far they had survived on green coconuts, but there were too few to go around such a tumult of people. Okay, so here in this paragraph, he just sensed it. So Prashant was sensed the pain of the people. So they took the shelter in that refugee camps. So where Red Cross Society was organized. Okay, and they were in a depression. They were in a pain. So that one he was sensed it, and he was decided that he wanted to be a strong leader to this group. And here he is just saying the number of the people they were died in this calamity, so which is related to his village. So nearly 86 people were lost, means 86 people were died so during this calamity, and nearly 2,500 people were survived in that shelter, in that refugee shelter. Okay, and now 96 houses had been washed away. How many houses? 96 houses were destroyed, completely destroyed, because of water and the destruction, and because of wind. Then it was their fourth day at the shelter. Now they were now they are in a refugee camps, no. So in that, so they are living there. It was about a fourth day. Okay, it was a fourth day they are living there, but they are not getting enough food to eat. So only they are surviving on tender coconut. Okay, so this is, and but there were too few to go around such a tumult of people. So only few people are having that tender coconut, but not all the people. Okay, rest of the people, they were in a hunger. Okay, so then tumult means uproar of disorderly crowd. So they are disorderly crowd because of the hunger. They can't, he can't see the pain of the people because of the hunger. The main problem during the time of this natural calamity is the hunger. How can they get the food? Okay, then Prashant, all of 19 years, decided to step in the leader of his village if no one else did. He organized a group of youths and elders to jointly pressurize the merchant once again to part with his rice. So now the Prashant was, he couldn't sit quietly, okay, and he could see the people were suffering. And now he decided that he wanted to be a leader for this group, for this people, okay. And now he just made, he is a man of a 19-year-old boy, okay. He was a young person. Although he is a young person, he just determined himself that he wanted to help this people. Help these people, and then he arranged a group here. So the group of youths, so they have to work for these people, okay. And then there are the elderly, they have to pressurize the merchant. Merchant means the owner of the ration shop, okay. So where they are keeping all the food items like a rice, wheat, everything. So that is the owner, that is called as a merchant. The Prashant and the group, that is the group of a young and also elder people, they should have to pressurize the merchant to give some rice to eat those people, okay. Then this time the delegation succeeded and returned triumphantly, wading through the receding waters with food for the entire shelter, okay. So food for the entire shelter. So here this time, so they pressurized the group of the people, they pressurized even the Prashant also. So they pressurized to the merchant to give some of the rice to the people, okay. And now whatever they have done, so they have come with the victories, that is called triumphantly. Triumphantly means victories. They have come in a victory. They got some food, okay. That is the rice. Entire shelter, no one cared that the rice was already rotting. Because of the flood, because of the water, already the rice was rotting. Rotting means it is not in a good condition to eat. That rice was. But because of the hunger, so the people were not bothered about the rice is good or not. Okay. So this is, the branches from fallen trees were gathered to light a reluctant to slow fire on which to cook the rice. So how they are cooking? So branches of the trees, they have arranged the branches of the trees, and they were ignite the fire, and they were cooking the rice in that fire. For the first time in 4 days, the survivors at the cyclone shelter were able to fill their bellies. His next task was to organize a team of youth volunteers to clean the shelter of filth, urine, vomit and floating carcasses, and to tend to the wounds and fractures of the many who had been injured. Okay. So after 4th day, at last they get the food. Okay. Now they had filled their stomach, bellies means stomach. They got a food here. The people, they got the food to eat. So at the 4th day, because of Prashant. And then Prashant was, the next plan of his is arrange the volunteers. He has to arrange the volunteers, and all the volunteers, they have to do the work like, so they have to clean the filth, the dirty things, the vomit, the people have vomited there in that place, and then there was a urine also. Now they have Prashant and the team, they are working for that to clean the shelter. Okay. Then, and they have to clean the carcasses of the animals. So then, and to tend to the wounds and fractures, they wanted to help the people who are injured, who are wounded, who got injured. So during the time of calamities, so they wanted to heal their injuries. So this is the determination of Prashant. So like that he has determined himself to give a service to the people, okay, so who are already they are suffering. He doesn't care about his pain. Why not? He is also having some pain, but he is not showing anywhere here, okay. He just find out his family. He just moved from Ersama to the village from the stick, holding stick, and he was swimming. By the swimming he went to the village, and there he could find his family, and again he gone to that refugee camp, and there he was helping to those people who are already, they have lost everything, okay. Then on the 5th day, a military helicopter flew over the shelter and dropped some food parcels. It then did not return. So on the 5th day of this incident, so the helicopter overflowing, so there they had dropped the parcels of food, and after that the helicopters were never returned, okay. They have not returned it back. The youth task force gathered empty utensils for the shelter. Then they deputed the children to lie in the sand left by the waters around the shelter with these utensils on their stomachs to communicate to the passing helicopters that they were hungry. The message got through, and after that the helicopter made regular rounds of the shelter, air dropping food and other basic needs. So now Prashant was again, he did something for the to get food, to get the parcels food from the helicopters, okay. He just arranged the boys, so they have to lie in the sand, and they have to take empty utensils on the stomach. So they have to keep those utensils on the stomach. Because of that utensils, because of the reflection of the sun, they could see it, that here the people, they need food. Because of that, they have to communicate with the helicopters. So he thought that kind of an idea to get the food, okay, so from the helicopters. So then they have to communicate like this way. They have communicated with the helicopters. After that, so they are getting food regularly, okay, after this thing. Then they will not remain hunger. So that's why Prashant was got idea, so how to get food from the helicopters, okay. So this one he has done that. Then Prashant found that the large number of children had been orphaned. He brought them together and put up a polythene sheet shelter for them. Women were mobilized to look after them, while the men secured food and materials for the shelter. Again, Prashant is not looking very silent, okay. He is not being quiet. Again, he is doing some work for this people, because some children, they have lost their parents. They are orphan now. And now he understood that the children were orphan, and now he arranged the polythene sheet shelter to these children. And the women, they have to take care of those children. And he given a work to the men also. So they have to collect the food and shelter to the family, to their people, okay. So that is children and also women. Whatever the materials they need for the shelters, so he given the job to find out that one to the men. As the week passed, Prashant was quick to recognize that the women and children was sinking deeper and deeper in the grief, okay. So after some weeks were passed like this, so Prashant was recognized that he has seen that, he has understood that the children and also the women means who are widows, the children means who are orphan. So they are going sinking. Sinking means they are in a pain, okay. Pain, why they are in pain? Because they have lost their family, okay. So no one is there to protect them. No one is there to care them. Now Prashant was understood this pain. So now what he has done for those people, he persuaded the women to start working in the food for work program started by an NGO. And for the children, he organized sports events. Those widows, he was made arranged like a food organization, what called food for work program, okay. So those ladies, they have to prepare a food. So it was like a work program he has organized for the widows, okay. And for orphan children, he has organized the sports to those people, sports, okay. So what kind of a sports he has organized? He himself loved to play cricket, and so he organized cricket matches for children, because he loves to play cricket. So he organized the cricket game for the children and for himself, okay? Because to get entertained to those people, to those children, because they are always in a sad, they are in a pain. So he wanted to entertain to those children. So he wanted to involve those children. So he arranged the sports, okay? That is the cricket. Prashant engaged with other volunteers in helping the widows and children to pick up the broken pieces of their lives, okay? Prashant is giving a training to the volunteers, not only himself, even he giving a training to the volunteers to help to the children and also the widows, okay? So because they had broken pieces, they are like a broken pieces, because they have lost their family. The widows were lost to their husbands and children, and the orphans the children who are orphans, so they lost their parents. Now they are like a broken pieces. So he has guided to the volunteers how to make it as a one, okay, to keep them as a happy. So he has giving them guidance, okay, to the volunteers. Then, however, this step was successfully resisted, as it was felt that in such institution, children would grow up without love and widows would suffer from stigma and loneliness, okay. So in this initial government plans, after this, the government also thinking about the planning and schemes like this. So when the people, after the natural calamities, the people who are survived, they need more care because they lost their family, and the widows, they lost their husbands and the children. So they have to survive as a loneliness. So now the government is also understand that kind of a situation of the children and also the women, okay. And now they are also bring some of the schemes and planning for those children and also those women, okay. Prashant's group believed orphans should be resettled in their own community itself, possibly in new foster of families made up of childless widows and children without adult care. Now Prashant has understood that the children should develop, children should grow in their family only, in their community only, okay. How? The women who are widows, they have to accept those children, okay, and those children, they have to adopt those widows, okay, because they need adults to care those kids, okay, these children. So now he wanted to bring a bond between these two groups, that is children and also widows, okay. It is 6 months after the devastation of the super cyclone. This time Prashant's wounded spirit has healed simply because he had no time to bother about his own pain, okay. So now, although the both widows and also orphan children, so now at least they had healed from the pain, but Prashant has never cared about his own pain, okay. He is just caring about others' pain, and he is working for it to cure their pains, okay. And they were searching for that love and care. Those children, those orphans and those widows, they are searching for the love and care. Now Prashant is giving a way to those children and also widows, okay, that they have to get a spirit. So that person is having a spirit in himself. So he is not bothering about his own pain, okay. So he is giving a way, he is giving a life, he given a life to those group. They heal the pain issued way in the pain of children. He just pain in that which one he needs. Then he has handsome youthful face is what the widows and orphan children of his village seek out most in their darkest hour of grief, okay. So the main sufferers are the women and also the children, because they have lost their family and they were in a pain. So this Prashant has understood that they need the love and care. So because of these two groups, he just wanted to unite this group, okay, because they have the children, they need the care and love to the from the widows, that is adults, and these widows, they need what called the happy family, okay, like they can't feel loneliness, okay. So they can't think that they are alone in this world. So because of that, because of these two things, Prashant was understood that, and he just brought these two group, okay. And here I am going to end this, finish this lesson, where the Prashant was not care about his own pain, he just looking out the others' pain, okay, and he is working for that also. He is not only just giving a guidance, is not only giving the facilities to the people. He just emotionally, he is healing to the wounds and injury of the people, that is the orphan children and also widows. Okay, so this is about the story of a Prashant, who was a young person, that is 18-year-old Prashant, 18-year-old person. So how he was made himself motivated during the time of tough time. Okay, tough time, that is in a difficult time, he made himself motivated. Okay, and he is not care about himself, he just give a life to the other people. So this is about the story of weathering storm in Ersama. I hope that you have understood, and if you have any doubts, you can write it in comment box. So we will meet you in the next learning vlogs. So till then, all of you stay at home, stay connecting. So keep connecting. So thank you all.